3 years ago, the High Court decided that a Papua New Guinean man called Daniel Love, who was being deported after being convicted for assault, could remain in Australia because, although he was not an Australian citizen, he had Indigenous Australian heritage. In other words, Daniel Love's inherent affinity with Australia, an affinity that is often perceived as a spiritual connection with the land, overrode the sovereign laws that had been built up since white settlement began in 1788. The conflict over sovereignty that the three law academics say will be provoked by the voice to Parliament would make the Daniel Love case seem like a dispute over a parking ticket. But even if it doesn't undermine our sovereignty, the voice will comprehensively disrupt the way government is conducted in Australia. 2 weeks ago, two of those three legal academics, Davis and Appleby, published an explanation of how the voice will work, and it should scare the pants off all of us. Quote, "The voice will be able to speak to all parts of the government, including the Cabinet, ministers, public servants and independent statutory officers and agencies such as the Reserve Bank, as well as a wide array of other agencies, including, to name a few, Centrelink, the Great Barrier Reef Marine Park Authority and the Ombudsman on matters relating to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. This isn't to be feared. As the explanatory memorandum says, the Parliament will be able to set the procedure through which the voice's representations are received, with the important caveat that the Parliament won't be able to stop the voice making these representations. It can't shut the voice up." Parliament can't shut the voice up, as if the Indigenous lobby isn't loud enough already. Peter Dutton responded by actually agreeing with Davis and Appleby. Then he predicted how this dramatic change in governments will pan out. Quote, "Every portfolio will need to consult with the voice before making a decision. It will require thousands of public servants and billions of dollars to run a new arm of the government to facilitate the consultation." Well, that was too much for Dutton's shadow Attorney General and one of the most ardent supporters of the voice in the Liberal Party, Julian Leeser, who resigned from the shadow cabinet today because the party was officially opposed to the idea. He said today, quote, "As a Liberal, I believe in the dignity of every Australian, in what can be achieved when they are affirmed, valued and empowered. I believe that better policy is made when the very people affected by it are consulted on it." Well, the point is, Julian, they are consulted. Our Indigenous brothers and sisters are equal citizens in one of the freest and most prosperous societies in human history. Already, more than $30 billion are spent every year trying to bridge the gap between the lives of the most disadvantaged and the rest of us. There are already dozens of bureaucracies dedicated to helping Indigenous people.